Hey guys, sorry. Been working away at a few things here and actually had my camcorder crap out on me. So the video I did make of installing my new CPU cooler, that acetyl nickel copper one I mentioned in the last video with the Tunic 4 process I did, got screwed up on me. So it did not fly. So anyways, my apologies, but this is the new motherboard installed. This is the Gigabyte G1 Assassin. The green and the blue kind of look, I'm not so sure what I make of it quite yet. I mean, you can obviously remember the blue on the fans on top and bottom. But then I got in the middle this lime green. Also a reflection off of my GTX 590s that are right below it. But so that's the new water block. Those are the 6 gigs of the 2250 megahertz RAM. The Corsair that I mentioned, very good RAM. Instantly getting better performance on the benchmarks, to the point that on my 3D Mark 11 I just clocked in, or came in at 15,280. That's with the 980X CPU overclocked to 4.14 gigahertz, and then the 2 GTX 590s in SLI that are overclocked to 640 on the core, and then the voltages were somewhere around 994 or so, 940, so not too bad. Again, I'm not quite sure what to make of the coloring, given the green and the blue and the red on those heat sinks. And I do have that MIPS water block, and you know, maybe I'm going to see if I can try and grab it. It's actually right behind me. That's my office, in case anybody's kind of wondering. That's where it all kind of sits and happens. But anyways, here it is. Let's see if I can get this out in a easy manner. Sorry. There we go. So it's a MIPS RAM water block. I mean, sucker's heavy. It's obviously a decent quality construction. The acetyl on the top, and then the nickel on the bottom. Or that might even be stainless steel, actually. I'd have to look that one up. I haven't used it yet. But if I knock off the red, then that color scheme kind of works, eh, guys? Like, I kind of like it. It's the same as the CPU. But again, you know, as I said in the last video, I mean, these RAM coolers are eye candy, and that's really what they're all about. I mean, do they need to be there? No. Do they look good? Yes. Why not use them? No reason, except for the expense. And I just I got given this one as a gift a long time ago for use actually with this RAM. And I had a hardware change just at the same time, so I never had a chance to install it and use it. So I think I'm going to consider it, because right now the only parts of this loop now, if you'll remember, I had 4 initially. It's got the pumps, going from the pumps to the back of the case. There, you know, there's 2 rads on the other side. Going to one of the rads, back out of that rad, out here to the CPU, rad, going to another rad. So that water from the CPU actually goes through 2 rads that are in push-pull configuration, and then back out to the dual GTX 590s, back through here, this rad, and then of course out of this rad into the reservoir again. One of the things I don't know if I mentioned, and I did a video and I called it Overkill on Pumps, and that was with these are the 2 MCP 655s in this this configuration, this EK configuration, which are great. And then on the other one, it's this one here, and let me jump around here. This was the Coolants. This is the RP401X2, single bay 5.25 inch reservoir / pump configuration. And I actually went ahead and you know, I know this is kind of silly, but I did it anyways. I put another MCP 35X pump. So now there's two MCP 35Xs and then two MCP 655s. Now these are down a little bit in comparison to the two up top here in the way of power-wise. But interestingly enough, what I noticed is right now I'm getting about 2.13 to 2.2, I believe it is, gallons per minute going through this water loop with those settings. And of course that's basically these two on the max. You can put your hand on those. They're kind of warm actually. They're very warm as compared to these guys down here. These are very cool. I find this interesting. So anyways, the MCP 655s are staying much cooler than the MCP 35Xs, if I'm getting that language right, or the model right. But you know, not bad at all. But yeah, and then the other thing I thought was kind of interesting is I always wondered how much does your motherboard block really constrict your water flow. And the difference between taking it out of this and changing out this CPU, the CPU cooler, or CPU block, which I don't think is much different because the last one was a Heatkiller 3.0 as well. The difference was 0.24 gallons per minute. That's how much better it got by removing the motherboard water block. So I'll be curious, and if I do, well, I think I will put the MIPS water block on the RAM here. I won't be doing one on this X58 board because I cannot find a water block to replace this. And you know what's kind of funny? This is hot. Like, this is, to me, this touch, wow, that's just warm. Gonna have to check that and make sure everything's working fine. I assume it is. I mean, it's just it is the Northbridge of the ICH10R, so I mean it's known for being warmer. So that's usually the reason that I've always had motherboard blocks to date. Maybe the new Intel chipset, the 2011, will come with a cooler Northbridge, so I don't have to use a water block on it. I mean, these things are spec'd to go higher than the touch temperature that I'm just complaining about right now. But in any event, I'd still like to make sure I keep the Northbridge pretty cool. I'm just amazed. That's the hottest Northbridge I've had to feel in a while. My old X58 Classified with its giant Northbridge cooler was much cooler than that. And maybe it's because I have everything overclocked right now, and that's just the reality of the way things are. But anyways, I'm going to play around with it a bit more right now because now I've got everything up and running. The only other thing that I did on this side, which I think kind of looks a little nicer, is I lined up everything here. I spaced out my SSDs. While I don't utilize an SSD for every one of the holders, I just use one SSD in each one now, and the spacing looks much nicer. And then once I finish all this, I will be finally dealing with that little bit of leftover cable management. I just leave my my TMS 205 Coolants flow meter software sitting on top there. Works great. I like it a lot. And yeah. So next steps, I'm gonna raid these guys up again. Right now it's just sitting on the one Patriot Wildfire, but you know, I know I'm going to be upgrading this board in the not too distant future to the new Intel chipsets when it comes out. It's going to be you know, it's going to be hard given that the amount of money I spent on the RAM that's in here and the 980X and that type of thing just to go further. But really, like you know, my SSDs in there are the two Intel 510s, the Patriot Wildfire, and then a 2 terabyte, 6 gigabyte per second hard drive, mass storage hard drive, and I can't use any of it. I can use 2 of it because these X58 boards, I don't even know if I'm going to show it to you. No, I can't, not really. Anyways, this X58 board only has two ports for SATA 6 gigabit per second. SATA 6 gigabit per second. So my two Intels will go into that, and my mass storage drive and my Patriot Wildfire are going to go under the SATA 3 gigabit per second ports, and that's really all I got. There's nothing else I can do about it. So anyway, bit of a downer with that. That's the whole reason I didn't really want to go back to the X58 board right now, but I needed it for work, as I mentioned it before, so got to go with that. Anyways, that's kind of about it. One of the last things I'm going to do, which maybe I can do this while I'm steady-handed and show you what comes with these Gigabit G1 Assassin boards, are these 5.25 inch bays. So this one specifically has the two USB 3.0s, USB 2 eSATA combo, and a quick boost for overclocking. So I am going to replace this SIG USB 3.0 aftermarket one, which hasn't really been working very well anyway. You plug in more than two of these ports, and that's about all the juice you get out of it. I only ever use the two ports, so bomb, there you go. I'm going to use those two. I got that USB there, I got the quick boost there. It's not that ugly. It's actually going to look okay underneath my Coolance RP401X2. And then I still have, if I really want to, these other four USB 2s down here, which are right there, the FireWire, the US Audio, and mic as well. So anyway, I'm going to work on installing this one right now. Shouldn't be too bad. The nice part is as well is the USB 3 is done by the internal USB 3 header, which is on the board. I won't torture you with trying to show it to you through the darkness there, but it's going to be replacing this little setup here, which I have, which is I did drill a hole out here and it came out to the back, and that's where my USB 3 is for those four headers in the front. So that's going bye-bye. And yeah, that's kind of about it. The only other thing that I kind of find funny, and I haven't quite figured this out yet, is with the quad NVIDIA setup, I cannot get to work the display port. Now my monitor is the Dell, it doesn't say it anywhere. It's the 3011 or U3011 Dell 2560 by 1600, and usually I've been using my mini display port here to my monitor to get that 2560 by 1600. I cannot get it to run quad in that configuration. I have to use the 1920 by 1200 DVI port. That's the only way to get it to run quad. Everything else runs in Tri-Fire or three-way SLI. And I think the reason is, and I'm going to look into it a bit more, it's basically the cord. This is not the NVIDIA cord. This is an aftermarket one that I had. And I think this is being a bit of a bottleneck on what I need to do to make it run quad SLI instead of Tri-SLI. So, I mean, runs great in Tri-SLI, just doesn't work in quad. Pretty darn sure it's this cord. It's the only thing I can think of, because I can get it to run with this DVI here. No problem there whatsoever. So, I'm going to have to bite the bullet and pay for some stupid shipping, because living in Canada and ordering from the US, for some reason it costs 5 times as much to ship something to the same distance as it does anywhere else. But in any event, that's my rant for today. So I'm going to bite the bullet and order that cord. If that's not the case, I'm going to be not very happy. So anyways, guys, that's kind of where things are at. I mean, it's the blue and the white. It doesn't really make too much of a difference with that green, I guess. You just kind of notice it a bit when you got the side open. But even with it closed, I mean, yeah, it's there, but that's okay. I don't mind. It's actually performing a lot better than my 2600K for my purposes. So, not that I'm knocking the 2600K. It's a good board too. or a good chip, and a good chipset as well. Just need this 6-core processor and this chipset for what I need to do for work for the next about month and a half. So anyway, talk to you later guys, bye for now.